everybody. Hi. Thanks for being here for another mock draft, our fifth of 5 mock drafts that we're doing in August. We are once again sponsored by Pre-Alcohol from Z-Biotics, about which I will tell you more later in the draft. But first, I must welcome in. We've had celebrity guests each of the last 2 weeks, but nobody matches the celebrity of this guy. Are you kidding me? Somehow, I got my business partner, Andy Behrens, to join this mock draft. It's his second televised mock draft in the last 4 hours, and I'm sure he's thrilled to be here. It's Andy Behrens. Hi.
Hi, I am thrilled to be here. Actually, this is I made it through most of the summer, most of draft season with hardly a mock draft, and I've had 3 now in the last 7 days. So yeah, mock draft season is coming very late for me. I hadn't done one of these since we do those magazine mock drafts like in the spring at a scandalous point in the football calendar, right? Like I don't know, I probably went from April to late August without a mock draft, but here we are. I'm excited about this one too. I've been spending a lot of time in sleeper draft rooms, so I think I know my way around.
I'm not excited at all for this one because I just know you're going to take all my players. We agree on all players. So fortunately, we're picking pretty far apart in this draft. Of course, I'm actually thrilled to be here. You may or may not know, YouTube watching audience, that Andy is now going to be my regular Wednesday guest for the entire dang season on my show, which I'm thrilled about because it's always been, I've had him on, but usually once a month because I don't want to bother him when he works for some big, ornery, awful media company. But now that that's no longer the case, through absolute personal choice, he's going to be on my show every week. But you're going to have to pay $5 a month to hear it because we get Paywall Andy on the Yacht Club podcast, which we're actually about to record. The folks are going to see this video after the next Paywall show comes out, but we're about to record it right after this one. And I have to imagine, Mr. Behrens, that there's a chance maybe some of the duking it out, the bloodying of each other here is going to spill over into hostilities. Yacht Club show.
Yeah, this is it's some real Jekyll and Hyde stuff. Like Paywall Andy versus, mock draft show Andy. These are very different people. These are vastly different people, and a segment of your audience understands those differences, but perhaps not everyone.
And I should also mention that if you subscribe to the Yacht Club, you can also go to thedeepshot.com, where Andy is writing all sorts of furiously written, and not that he's furious, but the method.
Some of them are furious.
Some of them are furious. I'm now being told in my not fictional earpiece that some of them are furious. But go to thedeepshot.com. If you subscribe to one, you subscribe to the other. So
Yep.
we are together in this. And then also you get access to an awesome Discord. How would you describe the Discord to this point?
It's been a pretty wild ride. I didn't even really know my way around Discord that well until the last month or so. But it's kind of a rollicking party in there. It's
really
active. It is shockingly active. I was briefly involved. In fact, I was probably the person most involved in the Yahoo Fantasy Discord before they launched me, and it was tame in there by comparison. It was not respectful exactly, but it was pretty tame in there. And it is very active with I don't know, bunch of fun participants in there. So I have very much enjoyed
I agree.
it.
A lot of people who know the inside jokes, which is great. So you got a lot of banter, and of course you're worshipped like a god in there. No wonder you like it. And then also, so you get access to that, and then you'll also get access to live streams that we're going to do only. This is for everybody, but we're going to do throughout the season. We're going to do live streams just for members. Anyway, you can go to thedeepshot.com and check out what's there. If you want to subscribe over at Harris Football, you can go to harrisfootball.com and figure that out too. But that's what we're up to, and we're also up to mock drafting. This is going to be a full PPR league that wraps up our mock. This might be like my last mock. I might have to say no to any other mock drafting opportunities that I have going forward because, frankly, I, unlike you, have done between real drafts and mock drafts. I have done more drafts than I can ever remember. It's easily more than 24. It's so many drafts.
Oh yeah, well I think I've told you I've completely thrown myself into the best ball universe. I've been burning through the severance package on best ball teams. So I this is I don't know how many dozen. Well, I'd have to really think about like various different platforms. I'm probably pushing 50 leagues at this point.
Like doing just trying to win $1 million at DraftKings? That's what we're doing to do here?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but again, I understand that I'm just burning this money.
Okay.
It's not coming back. I'm not a fool.
I mean, DraftKings is a podcast sponsor, so maybe it's coming back. As I'm just saying, maybe it's coming back. It could be because the two people are going to be millionaires. They're not sponsoring this at all, and we're not doing this draft on DraftKings, but two people will in fact be
Actually,
millionaires.
I just nailed a DraftKings best ball. I just a couple days ago. So they probably will be making me millionaires.
I mean, if that's the truth, then I figured out who's going to be doing our next round of funding on the Yacht Club show. All right, so
I'm sorry, who did the first round? Oh, we did.
I'm right here. Hi there. I'm going to be picking 10th in this for thing. You're going to be picking third, and I mean, I think what's great is that producer Dave is here with us, and producer Dave assigned these draft spots, having absolutely no idea that he is putting you in the absolute turkey hole. He's putting you absolutely where you want to be. I know you personally want to be number 3 in every single draft.
I love either 3 or 4. Yeah, those are kind of my spots. It's kind of a thoughtless spot, right? Like a couple of choices get made for you. It's probably Bijan sitting there. If it's not Bijan sitting there, it's going to be Saquon Barkley sitting there. I'll start any draft with either of those players. However, get like a draft slot that's really worthy of an expert. I don't know. Things go
I wish
on.
we'd hired one. That was a bad use of funding. Who bought all these balloons? Yeah. So I'm picking 10. Yeah, we'll see what choices I have to make. The thing is, we're picking against very dumb sleeper bots, and so I have a feeling that I'm probably going to be fine. Okay. Derrick Henry will be sitting there for me, and I'll be very happy. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I think, Dave, you can get it started, and we'll see how this draft room works.
Ooh.
Barkley, Chase. There you go. It always works that way. So you can talk about, there's probably some people who don't know that Bijan's your number 1 overall.
Yeah, big fan. He is. I mean, I put Bijan Robinson in a very small club that includes him, Derrick Henry, Saquon, not too darn many players. I just think he's a thrilling runner. Probably.
Right, and as
he's in that small club that I think can reasonably reach 2,000 scrimmage yards this year.
And as I said on our Yacht Club show, imagine if he just really, really hunkers down and has the best possible season, he might be able to get close to what Saquon Barkley did last year, which is why I would take Saquon Barkley.
Except he could also do it with like 70, 75 receptions.
I mean, yeah, but like, yeah, okay. I mean, I think you want to have a philosophical conversation about chasing receptions, especially among running backs. I just don't think it's worth that much. Anyway, speaking of which, I'm about to take one because Derrick Henry went a lot earlier than he usually goes in these drafts, especially in full PPR. Did the bots get the word? We had Henry go before Jahmyr Gibbs in a full PPR. That is not the way bots should be picking. Do they not have algorithms at Sleeper? So it's pretty clear to me what I do here. It is Christian McCaffrey. The positional scarcity of running back is just, I want to lean running back. We've had 4 running backs go and 5 wide receivers. It's just very easy to take the next best PPR running back. And that is Christian McCaffrey. You know why? Because Josh Jacobs is going to be there for me in the second round. You want to bet right now that I got Josh Jacobs? You want to bet? You want to make a little bet?
No, I do not.
All right. There goes McCaffrey. Nico Collins, Genti, Nakua, Bowers. Look who's there.
Look at early Bowers.
Yeah, well, that happens though. Like, you're used to drafting with experts. It's funny. We're going to do a topic later on the Yacht Club show where we're going to talk about the guys you've gotten most in all these drafts, not these best ball drafts, thankfully, but all the other ones. And you had suggested, well, I get Lamar a lot when I pick sort of end of the 3rd round. And I was like, that's all well and good, but you're getting him there because you're picking with sharps and they don't take quarterbacks. But Lamar goes in the 2nd in every like civilian draft there is. And Bowers will goes early in this kind of draft. And you know, when we're picking against our friends in the industry, he doesn't go this high.
Yeah.
So it is Jacobs for me. McCaffrey Jacobs. That's how I started out. What's that Reddit league called? I always forget the name. I want to call it Stacked. I want to call it Learned League for some reason. Do you know what Learned League is?
No.
Do you know what that is? Dave,
No,
you're not going to be able to answer to the folks. Do you know what Learned League is? It's like a really nerdy trivia thing that's got like incredible like hierarchies. You're trying to get promoted and demoted, and it's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. I used to be in it, but it requires like fanatical devotion to like, you got to make sure you don't forget. If you forget, you get suspended. And I forgot all the time. So yeah, I'm not in Learned League anymore, but it's called Stacked. And in Stacked, I started out McCaffrey and Jacobs, and I'm starting out McCaffrey and Jacobs here. I'm sure you are very jealous with envy, green with envy.
Jacobs is one of my most commonly drafted second
Me
round
too.
players. Yeah.
Me too. Well, he should go in the first.
No,
That's why he's a good value in the second.
he truly should. I'm gonna go ahead and
Lamar.
take. I'm gonna go ahead and take Jonathan Taylor, who is another guy that I frequently get in round
That's
two.
right. We share a brain on this stuff. Like it's gonna be like, yep, I would do that. Yep, I would do that. So before you make your pick, now you're out of the auto area. What's your folks want to know, like draft strategy wise? All right, you idiots, you've both gone running back. You fools, you absolute Denny Carter haters. We had Denny do a draft on here. Clearly, he did not take running back. He did take one running back in the first couple of rounds, but not two. So now that you've done this, if your ranks here told you that running back was your next best rated player, are you a hypocrite for not taking him and skipping down a couple of spots and finding your next best wide receiver? How do you think about that stuff?
Oh no, I use overall ranks for about 2 rounds. And then, I mean, look at the spot that I'm in right now, right? Like there's a handful of wide receivers, all of whom I like and consider occupants of a similar tier, none of whom are going to be available in all likelihood in the fourth round to me. So, I mean, wide receiver is the singular position that I'm looking at right now. Probably looking at it in round 4 as well, because we gotta you have to approach this as if you're actually playing out the roster, right? Like I have to play this thing out. I can't just best player available for the whole thing. I'm gonna get a lot of running backs that way, and I'm gonna be short on receivers who can plausibly catch 100 passes, right? And this being a PPR league, that matters a little bit. I'm also looking at, so far we have 2 of sort of the big 6 quarterbacks are gone, so maybe I'll have a shot at one of the
You
other.
You won't, trust me.
Yeah, you know how these bots operate.
Yeah,
I don't exactly know how
won't.
these bots operate, but I would be thinking in a normal snake draft, okay, it's possible I'll have a shot at one of those quarterbacks, and if so, maybe I'll lean that way. But then I know, as soon as like McBride and Kittle are gone, as soon as the next 4 quarterbacks are gone, I'm just kind of out on those positions until we're pretty late in this thing, certainly in the second half of this thing, because I don't, that middle ground at quarterback, or those guys who are like 7 through 11 at quarterback, to me, they're not.
Don't draft them.
Different. Yeah, they're so similar
them.
to the guys who are like 12 through 18, and I might as well get one of those guys. And it's really like at tight end for me after the big 2-ish, big 3. I'm waiting out that middle ground as well.
You gave me more information than I asked for, but I appreciate it.
So here,
who are you taking?
This is absolutely my most. I think of all, of every
Can I guess?
Good player on the
flag
board.
Flag player,
Yeah.
Jackson Smith or Jigba?
Yeah, it is. This is JSN for me every time.
I mean, we're annoyingly the same. That's the problem. We are annoyingly the same. So I loved your answer about, probably if you go RB, you're probably going wide receiver next. I am too. I don't want people to think about that way. It feels like the biggest piece of advice, Andy, that I give this time of year is players, not positions. Players, not positions. Yes, of course. If I go running back, am I leaning toward wide receiver? Of course. Will I deviate from my overall ranks in round 3? Probably in that round more than any other, especially if I've gone running back, which I very often do. But I just want I want to train everybody to, I do the Reddit AMA, and I get that the 30 questions that are like, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Running back first round, wide receiver second round. What do you think about tight end third round? But then you flip back and then you do wide receiver fourth round and then running back fifth round. Is that a good strategy? And I just go, oh, I don't know, because it depends on which ones.
Yep.
And I like the people think of this stuff as an equation to be solved. That there's a right answer, there's a solution, and if you're just smart enough about the inputs that you put in, like the third round pick should be a wide receiver this year, because I mean, I have friends who text me and they go, "Hey, I just don't like the receivers in the third round this year. Does that mean I should take?" I'm like, "God, you don't know who's going to be there in the third round when you draft because people are crazy," and
Yeah.
and the idea that we know enough beforehand to like perfect our teams, that's what the season is for. You do less than half of your work in the draft. The season is for being smart about what's actually happening this year. So please think about players. Please draft talent if you can. Obviously, we're not like totally sticking to our ranks in every single case, but that is my overall piece of advice for everybody watching. Players, not positions. All right, so now we're going to pause the draft because I am going to talk about pre-alcohol from Z-Biotics. Andy, it's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. And it goes in your tummy before you drink any alcohol, just a little bit of liquid. If it's your first drink before drinking, and then you enjoy responsibly and hydrate, I'm shocked how okay I feel the next morning. And I've had times where I've drank pre-alcohol and felt like this can't possibly make me feel okay in the morning. I've drank a lot of alcohol. You know, Tony, you know, Craig, I play guitar on Zoom with them a lot, and it is not pretty sometimes. And if I've had Z-Biotics beforehand, it's incredible. The way it works is basically alcohol produces a toxic byproduct in your gut, and it's this toxic byproduct that makes us feel crummy. And this produces an enzyme that takes away the toxic byproduct mostly. And it's crazy how much better I feel than I have any right to feel. Make it your first drink of the night and enjoy responsibly. You really will feel better in the morning. For those of you who have late fantasy football drafts, you got to put in a rush order, clearly. But if you go to zbiotics.com/Harris, check out with the code Harris, you get 15% off your first purchase. I'm an absolute believer. It's nuts how well it works. I think these people are going to be so rich. If I could buy stock in this company, I would. It is truly incredible. I believe that when I told you that they were sponsoring this draft, you said you wanted some.
Yeah, I'm going to have a pressing need for Z-Biotics over the next week or so. So, yes, I'm going to need to acquire some quickly.
We'll see if you can get you some. All right. Well, we thank them so much for sponsoring this entire series. They're a really great partner. They sponsor the podcast as well. The agency that I work with them through they're just such nice people. They're great. So if you are interested at all, just check it out, zbiotics.com. And the product is called Pre-Alcohol. We appreciate them so much. All right, so now I am in the place where clearly a heck of a lot of wide receivers have been taken, and I'm not going to have what you would think of as a prototypical wide receiver one on this team, but that's okay, because at some point, I don't know what you think. I think after like wide receiver 9, you could convince me that anybody from wide receiver 10 to wide receiver 30 is exactly the same. So I don't feel bad about my choices here.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. You can find fleas on all of them. I also feel like I felt this way all summer. It's like there's a tier that's gone missing at wide receiver, and we go very quickly from some players that I feel very confident are 90 plus catch receivers with 1,200 14-yard likelihood of outcome, and then we're into a bunch of guys that I don't know. I could imagine it going bad. we're kind of
why
we're kind of already there.
It's the league now. It's just the NFL. 3 wide is the base formation, and everybody throws to everybody. And tight ends are basically wide receivers, and running backs catch the ball. And there just isn't that. We're used to growing up. We're used to the concentration of targets on just a couple of guys. It's just not that way anymore. So welcome the freshly signed Terry McLovin, we call him. He will join the squad. And then, he's higher in my ranks, but I figured he'd be there, so I'm going to take him to... it's DJ Moore. Chicago Bears. Man, you may realize
you were right about the quarterbacks and tight ends there.
Correct.
That emptied, and since it emptied.
So do I still have your intention that you have to go wide receiver here? By golly, you have to, no matter what.
No, see, that's the interesting thing. And I was going to say that for the last round as well, it would have taken a pretty extreme circumstance in which a player like, it looks like actually Chase Brown almost fell to me, which basically never happens in the drafts that I've been in. Chase Brown is going in the second round. So he almost fell to me in the third round. I don't know, I would have taken a shot with Chase Brown there as a third running back, which is, I don't know, starting a draft with three running backs feels kind of 1995. But if there are the three right players and the value is extreme, I would do it. I've seen Josh Jacobs in drafts that don't have you in them fall pretty far. And when that happens, I'm obviously a buyer, right? So it would have taken a name like that. Here, like we're in that group of receivers that I was mentioning, where like literally the next two guys in the queue for sleeper, Rashee Rice is one of them, and I'm pretty sure he's missing a chunk of the season. I don't know which chunk. Marvin Harrison is one of them, and he's a huge range of outcomes guy. I'm already starting to look at like number two receivers on their own team. So I'm actually here. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara.
He's the best
Who
available on my board. Kamara would have been.
Yeah, yeah,
You
top player
picked
available.
you
Wonderful
didn't
for the
pick
format too.
you didn't pick. Show everybody what shirt you're wearing. You didn't take Sam Laporta. What's
I am repping Iowa here because of your vicious attacks on the state of Iowa on the podcast and recent
I mean,
episodes.
all I can say is that's a fair statement, and so are my attacks. Fair. All right, so you've
Oh.
gone three running backs. You filled your flex. I think what you were saying is that you were pretty sure whatever wide receiver you might have taken there at the end of the fourth round was going to be there for you in the beginning of the fifth round anyway.
Was going to be there here, yeah.
Yeah,
Harrison is gone, which is like just that's a problem that I don't have to worry about. And I don't
exactly.
know, maybe
Yeah,
it'll be a wonderful sophomore year story. I just don't know. There's a little bit
right.
of
Why would
buzz
you pay
around
for
him.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not going to pay for it in the fourth round. I say that, and then I'm probably about to do something a little bit boneheaded here. I this is where I feel like this sort of fifth round range. There's a hinge point in drafts where things can go really right if you take one path and really wrong if you take the other path. And like I honestly, as we sit here in real time, I'm not sure if I want to go the path of George Pickens. Do I want to go the path of Jameson Williams? Do I want to go the path of Calvin Ridley? I think those are all good players. I think Zay
Well, who's
Flowers is a
highest
good
in your
player.
ranks? Who's
But I'm
highest in
going to
your
go George.
ranks?
I'm going to go George Pickens here. I
George
take George
Pickens.
Pickens a fair amount in the fifth round. You and I were discussing this earlier today. Like fifth
Yeah,
round
we're gonna
is
we're gonna talk
fifth.
about him
Yeah,
on
fourth,
the
fifth
yacht
round
club.
is kind of a range of the draft where I'm really starting to think, let's chase ceilings. Let's go for it here. And I recognize that George Pickens is about as big a range of outcomes as you can find. But
I thought you
at
were
the
gonna say
high
as
end, I'm
big a
interested.
knucklehead as you could find.
He is. He is
I
also
thought you were
that.
gonna say that. All right. I was thinking maybe if you don't mind, I would just break your heart.
Ah.
Oh. So that's a little earlier than I would normally take him. It's a little bit of a stunt pick, but not really. He was within 4 or 5 picks of what I would do.
That's outrageous.
Hey man, it's what I do. I outrage. It's my brand. I have tight ends as my next available, my next highest picks, and I'm gonna forego, and we're gonna see how that goes. I don't care. I don't care about tight end enough. I'm gonna forego. Um, but I've obviously gotten starters at running back, wide receiver, and flex. There's also this gentleman. We've talked about him on the Yacht Club show. He's be my
I felt that coming. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be my honestly, he'd be my fifth, not my sixth. I would have him. I have him at Hurts, but I understand that's a minority opinion. But I think that's about where he should go, and that's the last quarterback that should go for the next 4 rounds, probably.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is a draft that's happening there's a weird cadence to this because but man, those bots are firing off them picks. But
Yeah. Well,
I would have,
you've got 5 minutes to make a pick. Don't worry about it. You talk.
yeah, I would have been eyeing. I mean, I've been eyeing Mahomes here, and I was thinking I might get him. Actually, Ricky Pearsall in the sixth round is a very common pick for me,
I'm
and I'm
aware.
way ahead of consensus on it too. So, like, if I'm
I'm
taking him in the
aware.
sixth round, fifth round is just absolutely outrageous.
Great advice is to know who you're drafting with.
That's fair. That's fair. That was really dirty. That was really dirty. And then Mahomes is obviously the other name where again I think there's six quarterbacks at the top that I am comfortable taking pretty early in a draft. And then after that, I really don't
Stop
care.
doing
I
it.
can yeah,
Like, great.
I can
Yeah.
see great possible outcomes for a whole lot of guys after that, and I don't see any difference between like Kyler Murray, Bo Nix, and I don't know, Justin Herbert,
I do. They're
Jordan Love
worse,
types.
frankly. They stink. They're just
Yeah,
pretend good.
well,
They put up good
but
numbers last year. You know, this is the point in the past two drafts where, since I've had non-professionals, I've had, people in the music business on the show, the past two, where I've asked them about their work. I've sent them a pointed question, or set them up to go off on a flight of fancy. So I think I'm going to do that right now with you, which is you're one of like four people that started my newest book that isn't for available. It's not available. It's just like the first draft of it. You want to give a first of live look in how it's going so far?
oh man, I love it. I love the
Oh,
way
you're so nice.
I really love the way that you like killer opening sentences.
Thanks.
One of the things that I've picked up, just I've written three books that are of a very different type, that were for young readers. Wrote them a while ago, but like I worked so hard on like getting into chapters, getting out of chapters, and like you're so good at it.
Well, thanks. Well,
It's
it's about
so
football
crisp.
though, so like so it's kind of relevant to right now. But I would have accepted it's terrible, just for ribbing purposes. I would have accepted you've done a bad job. That would have been okay too.
No, you're also like great. It's a long book, but great economy of words, right? Like you're concise in all the right ways, which I also appreciate.
A sequel to the Slotback, one might recall. Not available for publication just yet. But all the literary agents watching the mock draft, feel free to reach out.
Do
Uh,
we find that literary agents just sort of hang out in mock drafts?
Mostly now it appears they're all in the Discord because they're just banging my door down. Oh, I need to rep you. Penguin needs this novel. That doesn't. I love how my fantasies of publishing are from 1995. Yours are mock drafts and mine are publishing. That's not really how any of it works anymore. Small, tiny publishers who just want like 2,000 people to buy a copy of a book. I guarantee I can sell 2,000 copies of a book. All right, let's draft in the sixth round.
I really wish I knew what the bots did in these things, because I don't want to get burned by a bot. I don't want to feel bad about something a
I mean,
bot did to me.
who
I
wants to get burned by
really
a bot?
now I'm feeling very good about having taken Kamara in round four, because I don't love the top of the queue at running back. I'm not a buyer on those guys. I'm pretty interested in Jalen Waddle. I'm pretty interested in Roma Dunze. I buy the buzz on a Dunze. I think I'm going to go that route. Again, I don't know maybe the bots wouldn't make me pay for not taking him here, but I'm just going to go ahead and take him here.
Robo didn't say you missed Swift. I know you're sad. You missed Swift.
I am not super sad about, and like he's fine.
Bears fan DeAndre Swift.
I feel like I don't know if you and I have directly had the conversation about Swift, but I've heard you have the conversation about Swift, and I agree with you. He's fine. He's a fine player, but
I mean,
he's not so good.
yeah, I think he's kind of a bad player, but he's in a good situation and it averages out to fine.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not so good that he couldn't lose a job, or that they
Right.
aren't constantly thinking about who the next running back of the team is going to be. Like that's kind of been his story. He's already lived that story with Ben Johnson too, right? So yeah, I'm not. He's not been one of my guys. We're not doing the Who's Not Your Guy show on the Yacht Club
No,
pod tonight.
but
But
also
if
you're
we
a Bears
were,
fan, so like you're invested in him being good, which means even more painful when he's not good, which he's not.
I I would love to see him be a good
Right?
player.
If he was good, that would be your favorite thing.
Yeah, but I think I think they want Roshan playing at the goal line. I think they have high hopes for Monangai, who is like small and slow. And I don't know if we're talking up the small and slow guy. How must we feel about the starter? Yeah, I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go for my own ranks here and not worry about the queue, and I'm gonna take Jalen Warren. I'm gonna pound some of the players that we're actually gonna be talking about later in the podcast. Jalen Warren is a very frequent pick of mine.
All right. We're benching here. We're going with bench. I would have taken Andrews, Kelsey, or Hawkinson probably where I took Mahomes, but I just don't need to. It's fine, but I thought just as a different build, as they say, I would try the Mahomes and not do Justin Herbert in the 14th, which is what I normally do on these videos. So my highest ranked player, I'm just going to take Chris Olave. Bench player, it's
Mhm.
fine. It's fine. Back to me again, and I'm going to go. I think this is the right round to take the chance.
Mm.
People who watch these mocks as the weeks have gone by have seen me take Mixon in every one of them just later and later because we get worse and worse news about him. But I think the eighth round is about the right place. Are you like eighth round is no? I know I'm not getting him for 4 weeks and I might not get him all season. I can't spend an eighth round pick.
I haven't heard anything that makes me think we're not going to get him all season. I haven't heard that yet. He's still
To be
like,
fair, you sorry to interrupt, but you and I were saying on the Yacht Club show 3 weeks ago, saying this
yep.
idiot's saying we shouldn't take him in the third. Fools! Who are they? Fools! They don't know anything. So yeah, I rule out nothing.
Yeah, I know the players behind him, and there's not a clear answer. Maybe Woody Marks turns out to be a thing, but the other
Right.
options are like we're talking up Damian Pierce and Nick Chubb, and it's not settled between those two. But I know that the most recent version of Nick Chubb that I saw was not a serious contender to take a healthy Joe Mixon's job. So I don't like once you're drafting players into bench spots. I
That's how I
don't I
feel.
don't see a whole lot of risk here. Yeah.
Right. It's some risk. It's just some opportunity cost. I could have gotten Brian Robinson. But yeah. I think the eighth round is where I'm gonna take him.
Yeah, if we're drafting bench players, though, we should be thinking mostly about, well, what happens if this all goes right? And if
Right.
this all goes right, you get a great player in the back half of the season when you really need to win, and it's a player who would have otherwise been, of third round, fourth round quality.
And we should also say that if your league has reserve spots, oh my God, like probably go earlier
Yep.
because now you
Yeah.
don't have to even like burn a roster spot on them.
Here I'm gonna go Emeka Egbuka, who I actually view as like an end of tier player among that group of wide receivers. I shouldn't need to explain to people the spot that he's in. Obviously, the injuries to McMillan and Chris Godwin have cleared a path for a really interesting young player to see the field all of the time. There's
You just
there's
said you
probably
shouldn't have to explain that though.
and then I just went and did it. There's probably gonna be more Kate Otten to this offense than anybody wants to admit right now. Remember they built the entire passing game out of Kate Otten for like a month last year when everyone was hurt. So I do just want to prepare like all the people who think that Ibuka is going to come in and it's going to look like Puka Nakua and he's going to see 15 targets right away. Like they do have other bodies.
Mike Evans goes in the fourth now. I just can't do it. Not least because that might be great in September, but I don't think it's going to be great when everybody's back.
That's fair. That's probably right. Let's
Who are you
see
thinking now?
who's gone at tight end. So Ingram is gone at tight end. Tyler Warren is gone at tight end. I normally I wouldn't need to take this player here, but I like
No, I'm
Colson
not. I'm not
Loveland.
close to taking it. I'm not going to take him.
Okay.
You have my solemn vow that I will not take Loveland. I knew
Okay.
who you were thinking.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's the now it's a little,
My
I'm
fingers are.
I'm doubling down on an offense that is also a range of outcomes offense, right, in Chicago, because I've already got Roma Dunze, but Loveland has been the other like just incredibly buzzy player out of camp. And whatever, you shouldn't read too much into camp reports, but like I'm talking like beat writer
You could
every
definitely
day.
wait. You could wait to the 10th. No chance I would take him.
I think I can, really. Are you being sincere? I don't trust you. If I trusted you in this moment, I would actually let him go, but I'm taking him. That felt
after I
like misdirection.
after I did you the dirty on Pearsall. Fair. It's a fair. I mean, it's really look at the number of tight ends that went after
Oh, and
him.
I
There's
triggered a tight end run. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you triggered it. That just happens on Sleeper. The Hawkinson, Dalton, Kincaid stack for Team Nine there. Uh, all right. So where are we on? I'm going to take a flag player. He's not exactly my highest ranked player, but let's be in the business of pumping up flag players.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Tank Bigsby in the ninth we like, and where are we? I haven't looked at the bye weeks. I got to figure out the bye weeks of my players. Remember when people used to do that seriously? Do you remember that? That was like, 'cause, like
Oh gosh.
I never did it, but like in the early days of ESPN, it was like you can't take two guys who have the same bye week in the early rounds. What are you doing? I'm pretty sure I can. I'm pretty sure I just did.
That's actually been one of the most difficult things about drafting a bunch of best ball teams. Like you do gotta like you have to pay attention to the bye weeks to some extent in best ball, right? Because I don't have a chance to manipulate my roster during the season, and I
You
am not
do,
conditioned to that. I am not conditioned to that at
but
all.
like
Like
those DraftKings drafts are deep. Like you're gonna
yeah.
fan out you're gonna be fine. You know, this can be very unlikely, but whoops, I had no starters in week 10, you know.
It's a good call. That's my favorite thing about best ball on DraftKings is I get 20 guys.
Yeah.
So you can not think about the buys and accidentally just not get burned, right? Because
Yep.
those two extra players make a huge difference.
So where am I next? The next player on my draft board is probably he's going to be there for so long that I'm not going to do it. I'll do that all the time. I do that. I'll take risks. You know, I think it's fine to take those risks. Uh, and then the next guy on my board will go soon, but I feel like I've done Mixon, so I'm not going to do Godwin. That's probably a
Mm.
reason to, not pup a couple of different guys. So the next guy on my board is Austin Eckler in a full PPR, but the other guy just went,
Oh, he just went.
yep, in
Not
a
that
standard.
I groan like I'm
Yeah,
super upset to
in
lose.
yeah, in the 10th round. It's too bad you couldn't take him in the ninth. If you really
Yeah.
wanted him. If you
Yeah.
hadn't taken Loveland, you could have taken JCM, Ja'Cory
It's
Krosky Merritt.
It's fair, and like none of us knows exactly what we're getting out of Krosky Barrett, and we've not seen him
What?
against. Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah. No,
I heard he's
some of us firmly know that they're getting a superstar out of Krosky Merritt. I guess I'll say I don't know what I'm getting out
in
of
home
Krosky Merritt.
leagues. In home leagues, do you think? See, here's the thing. There's going to be
No,
dueling.
yeah.
You think he's not going to go high?
I don't think he's going to go particularly high unless you've got somebody in the draft who's like a rabid Washington fan because they're all on him. They love him. They absolutely love him. But if
But
you don't have a Commanders fan in your draft, no, I don't think he's going to
yeah,
go
but if you
particularly
have a
high.
fan who listens to some dumb show, and there are so many dumb shows, there are people out there telling you to do round six on him. Absolutely. The
Sure,
the
sure.
the contra pressures, the contraindications that you might say are on the one hand, there's going to be that. There's going to be people who just have heard so much hype because every rookie gets hyped. But in most of these mainstream platforms, he's just listed so low. Like
Hmm.
he wasn't anywhere close to the default. He was going to come up on my list before he was going to come up in sleepers list, which is really rare for a rookie because they just haven't had time to redo their default ranks. And so
Yeah.
it's going to be it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm like I guess I'm thinking of the home leagues. I've got one coming up with college buddies, and none of them, not a single one of them, have read a scrap of pre-draft material. They don't
Right.
prep until like the afternoon of the draft, which
So
is
that
actually how like
he'll
90
last.
to 95% of drafts go. Right, that's
Right.
what most of them are. And I have a couple of those coming up, so I'm not particularly worried about. But also, I don't know what I'm getting out of him.
Well, you
I'm
don't
not
want
the
him.
most enthusiastic person on Krosky Merritt. Yeah, and I
Oh,
think
I just thought you meant in general.
Eckler just has like a known role, and Austin Eckler is going to go be the Austin Eckler that he was last year. And had he simply stayed healthy for the entire season, that was going to be relatively productive.
All
Oh,
right,
hey, I'm
who's
picking.
next? You are.
This is really boring, but it's full PPR. I'm going to go Michael Pittman.
He's a flag player. Oh, it's not boring at all.
Oh, good. Then what I meant to say was this is an exciting pick that I am that I'm
The,
affixing my own reputation
do
to.
you
I
know
mean,
the
like
main?
he's a really good player who is going to
Yeah.
catch a lot of balls, and we're trying to come up with all kinds of other answers in the Colts offense. And at the end of the day, it's Daniel Jones, and he's probably not going to support, four guys. And
Right.
Michael Pittman is going to consistently draw targets. He always does.
Do you know the main bug in the sleeper platform is it won't let you take Colson Loveland twice?
You're thinking that having already made a mistake at tight end, I
Not
need
at
to take
all.
another. I'm not
Not at
ready to do
all.
that. I'm not
Not at
ready to do
all.
that. What do we have it? Okay, I've taken the like, eat your vegetables sort of wide receiver. So now man, it makes me uncomfortable to have to scroll this far down, but I would do this in a normal draft. I probably don't have to do it with all these bots, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my guy, Rashad Bateman now. He probably wouldn't go for 4 more rounds. I don't know. I don't know how these bots work.
I'm pretty sure his mom doesn't consider Rashad Bateman her guy.
Rashad Bateman's a good player. Rashad Bateman's a good player.
I don't think I agree.
I don't think he's a touchdown every 5 catches good, but I think Rashad Bateman's a really good player who gets himself open. He did some filthy things to people last year.
Boy, I don't remember that. I will say he does play in the Big Ten, and so he played against Iowa, which probably where he's coming from.
Minnesota legend.
We need bye week players. Keenan Allen, my eldest son. Keenan Allen. Still not taking a tight end. We're just gonna wait. There's 7,000 tight ends. Dallas Goedert just went. That's hilarious. These guys are all like, I need 2 tight ends. How many teams in this draft have 2 tight ends? We have the Kelsey Njoku.
Man, I was just
stack.
looking at that. Yeah.
We have the Jonnu McBride stack.
The bot who took Bowers has already taken a second tight
Kyle
end.
Pitts, and then Kittle and Goddard. So that's, if your home league drafts like that, don't take tight ends. Don't worry about it. So I'm not worrying about it. I will select. I've taken my stash guy. So like Godwin and Ayuk are players I would take in this range. They're players that I regularly do take in this range, but I'm not going to do it with this particular group. So, and I didn't get Brian Robinson. This would be the Garendo spot, but Brian Robinson is going to go a lot higher than that. I guess I messed that up. Probably need to get Robinson if you need, like if Robinson goes in the 7th round, if I have to take Robinson in the 7th round to handcuff him to McCaffrey, do you consider that like you should just do that?
I think I just did that today. I think I just did that in this NBC mock draft that I was in earlier today. I definitely took Robinson. I don't recall if it was like the 8th round or something like that, but it was early. And I think McCaffrey is one of those situations where it's just worth it because we've seen.
I took Mixon instead. That was not very smart in retrospect.
Well, we've just seen over the years, we've seen multiple players step into the understudy role.
You don't need to. Everybody knows.
Yeah,
you don't have to explain. People are smart. Everybody's smart. McCaffrey's McCaffrey's going to break. All right. What are we doing here? I would love to take another wide receiver, but they're just not any that aren't hurt. So I'm going to go with the starting Cleveland Browns running back that I take in every single one of these drafts.
Yeah. Jerome Ford was on the radar for me. Now I've run into the problem where I'm realizing not only are the bots doing backups at tight end, they're doing backups at quarterback. So I'm sitting here with no quarterback, and
yet it still isn't even slightly uncomfortable because there's 1,000 still good quarterbacks, right?
No, I will say it's not uncomfortable.
Fields is fine.
There's one manager, imaginary bot manager on the other side of me that already has 2 quarterbacks. The guy who took Nick's is probably going to the bot who took Nick's is probably going to take another quarterback.
I could just look at that bot's picks and know it's a guy, an idiot guy. I can just tell.
I'm just going to take Fields here. He's fine. He's
like the disaster player, of waiting to the 12th and having every team totally hose you with 2 quarterbacks and you still wind up with Fields. It's just take quarterbacks.
Yeah. You still get a guy who has a 1,000-yard rushing season on his resume, and you waited this long. Yeah.
I mean, even if he hadn't been there, Trevor Lawrence would be fine. Like it's fine.
You'll be fine. I may yet end up with Lawrence. I'm going to go. As we speak, we don't know exactly what the week 1 status, what the early season status of Najee Harris is, but I feel like he's going to play at some point this year. Nobody's ruled him out. He hasn't ruled himself out.
Well, the latest word, honestly, is that he's going to play week 1. I mean, at least he's got a chance. He's not doing PUP. They didn't put him on PUP, so he's going to play in September. It seems like. I think I'm going to take your advice. I listened to you for years. We draft similarly. We'll take Woody Marks to back up Joe Mixon. And I guess I do need to draft a tight end. Although I think in one of these drafts, I just, out of protest, I was like, nope, I'm going to get one off the waiver wire when I reserve Mixon. I'm pretty sure I did. But we'll take Hunter Henry because who cares? Is he the highest rated tight end? I don't have any tight ends left on my list, but that's because tight end is dumb in this thing. Sleepers defaults not so good. Hunter Henry, New England Patriots best skill position player is what I understand. And finally, lastly, Ollie Gordon. Oh no!
You gotta be kidding me. Team
Eh,
seven, the
Dave,
bot operating
Dave,
team
stop the tape.
seven.
Stop the tape. Andy's not going to let you publish this.
That's crazy. I get Ollie Gordon everywhere. That's outrageous. That's absolutely outrageous.
I
But
mean,
that, I
that
guess,
is not cool.
I guess that tells you that he's bubbled up to the point that he's actually somewhere in the pre-ranks on Sleeper right now. And I've noticed that over the last week or so. He's really come up because of the Jalen Wright injury.
Right.
I'll just say I'm talking up a player that I'm not even going to draft. And it's preseason, and nobody should get too
Did Oklahoma
enthusiastic
State
about
play
anybody.
Iowa?
No, that's the
Oh,
thing. They
wow.
never did. So I didn't see as much of Ollie Gordon as perhaps I should have, even while he was winning the Doak Walker Award. That guy's been a revelation. He is the running back that like Cam Scatabo thinks he is, right? Where he can just detonate people at the okay, we're tackling me now. Fine, it's gonna hurt. He's man, that guy
Do you
knows what he.
remember when people were calling him Adrian Peterson though? Like
Oh
it is
well,
disappointing. Well, because that sophomore year he kind of looked like him.
yeah.
He kind of did, and then he ran in the Indoor Olympics, and everybody got sad, and that's how you last a really long time.
Man, that guy's hurting people in preseason. He's been really fun. I do also enjoy that he kind of knows what he is and what he isn't. I appreciate that. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence here because there's a non-trivial chance that Trevor Lawrence has a breakout season, in my opinion.
We
Oh,
did
what a
it.
pleasant sound!
Yeah, I don't know if the listeners get to hear that sound or the viewers get to hear that sound, but we
That is
do.
a
We
that
get
is a
to.
lovely draft has ended sound that Sleeper gives you.
I mean, the more, we prefer fan tracks around here, really, to be honest, because they're also a sponsor. But, we use Sleeper for the draft because it's beautiful and color coded, but fantrax.com/Harris. Look at your team and tell me what you think.
Pretty. This is
And
pretty
that's an
standard.
order.
This is pretty standard roster construction for me, and I kind of played the hits here a little bit when I'm drafting first half of the first round. Very common for me, obviously, to take Bijan Robinson if he's there. He's my number one player. But I would say the three players that I probably get the most in round two, depending on where I'm picking, are Taylor, Jacobs, and AJ Brown. And then I almost always get Jackson Smith and Jigba in round three. So this is just me. This is the script. If I scripted the first 15 plays, that's me to a T in the first three rounds. Kamara, I feel like I don't have a lot of, but in PPR, he was just sort of a glaring best player available here. And the rest of this, I get these guys. This is really how I approach receiver quite a bit is I get one guy that I'm super comfortable with, and then I start collecting some guys who are, high ceiling maybes. I can tell you why all of these guys could fail. I'm just hoping two of them don't, right? And the scenario where those two don't is really, really good. So I
All
like
right.
the
Now, how about
receivers
mine?
just,
How about my
ooh, how
team?
about yours?
Because talk about playing the hits. People who see me draft 5 weeks in a row, they kind of know who I'm going to take. So,
Well, as you and I were going back and forth earlier today, as we were discussing content for the podcast, I get a fair amount of McCaffrey, and I'm willing to take him. Of all the players anywhere near the top of the draft, he's certainly risen the most for me. From I don't know the first time I did my ranks, I bet I had him ranked as like a early second round player. I probably wasn't that high on him, just assuming that we were going to get a complicated summer. And then it's just been a blissfully quiet summer where he simply practices, which is, not a lot of news until reporters remember that they should probably check in on Christian McCaffrey, and then everything's fine again. And
how about all my other picks, not the
that's
first
just
one?
a dream scenario. Well, I hated the Pearsall pick. It's a terrible one by you. Absolutely miserable pick by you, doomed to fail.
Right.
McLaurin was interesting because he
Hmm.
still has the issue of not having practiced at all, and maybe there's rust, maybe he's a little bit
What
out
did
of
you
sync with
do
Jane Daniels.
with what did you do with your rank of him? Because I lowered him and then raised him again, but I didn't raise him as much as high as I originally had him. You know what I mean? Like I lowered him when we got into like the third week of August, and I was like, oh man, is he even going to play? And then when he signed, I put him back higher, but this is about how high I put him.
Yeah, I feel like about 10 days ago, I made the adjustment to he's probably going to sign and he's probably going to sign at the 11th hour. Because obviously that's how it went. That's how a lot of these situations go. And it's not, obviously it's not great. It gives you a scenario where the player literally hasn't worked with his quarterback in an extended period of time right before the season, which again, not ideal. But I'm also a big believer in Terry McLaurin. I've loved the guy for a long time. So and it's a quarterback I have full faith in too. So I feel pretty good about the scenario. This is about where I think he should go. I thought that you were a little bit more nervous about him than apparently you are.
It's one of my children. I'm gonna be nervous about one of my children. I mean, it isn't exactly where I have him ranked in a full PPR. I have him ranked 36 overall in a full PPR, but I was doing that thing of where you're like, yeah, but you just got two running backs and I think two first round running backs, and you need to okay, let's take a look at what's on the board. And a lot of receivers were gone. So, I mean, I guess, I took him 34, so it's not like I went so far away from 36, but still that is different than I had him ranked. And he was my highest rated receiver left. Oh no, he wasn't actually. I have more ahead of McLaurin, and I didn't have more ahead of McLaurin all summer, but I switched it up. McLaurin went like probably, I mean, I think I got McLaurin until he signed. I think I had him down more late fourth, but I originally had him almost top 24. Like, I'm a very big believer. He's definitely going to suffer a touchdown regression because I did the hard work of looking at his touchdowns for each of his career seasons. And I see that one of them doesn't look like the other. So he's definitely going to regress. Somehow that doesn't pass for me because it turns out when you get a good quarterback, get more touchdowns. It's incredible. It's incredible the way that works. I mean, of course it could go down. He didn't, his reception total didn't go a lot higher and the touchdown total did, but yeah, that's because it wasn't Sam Howell,
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about the rest of my squad?
I think that's just exactly right on the most common criticism of McLaurin. And the reason I really like your receiving core is because I think Ricky Pearsall is a wide receiver too for fantasy. I've got him ranked as like wide receiver 23, 24. I think he's that good. That's well ahead of consensus, but I'm very much all in on Pearsall. And that was just a dirty pick taking him from me.
I could have taken him in the sixth. I'm sure I would have gotten him in the sixth, but it wouldn't have had that little pow. It wouldn't have that little like extra FU. And frankly, that's what I was looking for in this video. All right. Well, I think we've done it. We've made it through this draft, and I hope folks will tell us down in the comments what they think of our respective teams, and also how, let's face it, kind of sometimes mean I am to Andy, and he just takes it because he's just so nice. But, I know I can get away with it. And we've known each other for a quarter of a century. I'm allowed. We're about to go record a podcast that I hope some of you will listen to, the Yacht Club podcast. I want you to make sure to check out thedeepshot.com. Andy lets you read a few of the articles, like little pieces of them. You get a sense of whether you like it, but I think you will. Because Andy, despite the very nice things he said about me as a writer, he's also an excellent writer, and I enjoy reading his writing very much. So yeah, subscribe, leave us a comment, tell us what you think of this entire series, and also these particular teams, and how your strategy might vary from ours, because obviously you're a lot smarter than we are. I want to thank ZBiotics for sponsoring this whole series of mock drafts. Check it out. They actually have a money-back guarantee, total satisfaction guarantee. So if you try it and you don't feel like you felt any better than you should have in the morning, let them know. They will 100% refund your money. No questions asked. Most importantly, I know Andy will join me in wanting to thank Dave Pyper for having produced this show and everything on this channel all through August. He has done yeoman's work, incredible job. Dave, thank you so much. We could not do it without you. Dave has already announced to his large following that The Silliest Thing videos will be back this year. So we're all excited to watch and laugh along with the stupid stuff that NFL players do throughout this season. Thank you all so much for watching all these videos. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.